Hi, folks. Quick question. Have you ever checked your loose change and thought, what if this tiny coin is worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving into a coin that could blow your mind, the 1995 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. Yes, that ordinary-looking quarter in your pocket might be worth $1 million. Crazy, right? Stick around because I'll explain why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and share a funny story about the time I nearly threw away a coin worth hundreds. Spoiler alert, I've learned to never underestimate spare change. Okay, first things first, why is the 1995 D Washington quarter so special? At first glance, this coin seems pretty average. I mean, it has George Washington on one side, an eagle on the other, and, well, it's a quarter. But the devil, or in this case, the dollars, are in the details. You see, a handful of these quarters were minted with errors, and error coins are like the rare Pokemon of numismatics. Now, here's where things get juicy. Some of these quarters have minting mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, or even missing mint marks. Collectors go bananas over these kinds of flaws because they're super rare. And when something is rare, the price tag skyrockets. One particular 1995 D Washington quarter recently sold at auction for, you guessed it, $1 million. That's the kind of money that makes you rethink every trip to the vending machine, right? So, how do you know if your quarter is the golden ticket? First, grab a magnifying glass or, let's be real, just zoom in with your phone camera. Check the D mint mark, which is located on the front of the coin under the date. If it looks unusual, like it's doubled, misplaced, or funky in any way, you might have hit the jackpot. Also, check the edges for errors or weird gaps. Don't forget, condition matters. If your coin looks like it's been through a tumble dryer a few hundred times, it's probably not fetching $1 million. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I found a quarter in my car cup holder that looked a little odd. It was shiny in a way quarters usually aren't, and the mint mark seemed slightly off. Excited, I rushed to get it appraised. Turns out, it was just an overly polished quarter that someone had cleaned. Moral of the story? Not every weird coin is a treasure, but the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. So, what's the current market like for these coins? Error coins, especially rare ones like this, are hot commodities in the collector world. Even if your 1995 D quarter isn't the $1 million kind, a minor error can still fetch you a few $100. That's not bad for something you could find in your couch cushions, right? And if you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition with a major error, congratulations, you're the new owner of a small fortune. So, what's the takeaway here? Always check your change. That 1995 D Washington quarter in your pocket might just be worth more than your car. And hey, even if it's not, the thrill of hunting for treasure is priceless. If you found this video helpful, or if you're now rating your coin jar, hit that subscribe button. I share tips on spotting valuable coins, fun facts about currency, and strategies for turning spare change into serious cash. Don't forget to like the video and drop a comment about your own coin discoveries. Who knows? You might have $1 million story waiting to be uncovered. Hey there, treasure hunters. Imagine this. You're digging through your spare change, maybe at the bottom of your purse or wedged under your couch cushions, and you find a regular OL quarter. You think, well, that's worth 25 cents. But what if I told you that this quarter, specifically the 2017 P Mint Mark Ellis Island quarter, could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yep, you heard that right. A coin most of us would have handed to the cashier at the gas station could change your life. Today, we're going to talk about why this little piece of metal has collectors going crazy, how you can check if you've got one, and a personal story about how I almost missed out on a valuable coin myself. Spoiler: it's hilarious in hindsight, so grab your change jar and let's dive in, because your financial freedom could be hiding in plain sight. First, let's talk about the coin itself. The 2017 Ellis Island quarter was part of the America the Beautiful series. On the reverse side, it features a beautifully detailed image of immigrants arriving at Ellis Island, symbolizing the gateway to the American dream. Pretty poetic, right? But here's where things get spicy. The key here is the P Mint mark, which indicates it was made in the Philadelphia Mint. Now, you might be wondering, why is this particular quarter so valuable? Is it made of gold? Is it secretly a key to some underground treasure chest? Nope. The value comes down to a rare minting error. During production, a small batch of these coins got struck with a fascinating flaw that caused a doubling effect on the design. This is what collectors call a double die. If you take a close look with a magnifying glass, you might notice doubled letters or a slightly off appearance in the artwork. And when I say collectors go bananas for these types of errors, I mean it. The rarity combined with the historical significance of Ellis Island, that's a recipe for a six-figure auction frenzy. Let me break it down. A standard 2017 Ellis Island quarter is worth, well, a quarter. A typical mint condition one might fetch $1 or $2. But this specific error coin recently sold for a staggering $1.1 million. Yeah, someone essentially turned pocket change into a mansion down payment. And now for my embarrassing story. A few years back, I was at a garage sale and bought this old coin jar for $5. I didn't think much of it, just wanted a quirky decoration for my shelf. Months later, I finally cracked it open to see what was inside. Long story short, I found a weird-looking quarter and thought it was just damaged. I tossed it into the vending machine at work to buy a bag of chips. You already know where this is going, right? That was probably a rare coin, because I later learned about mint errors, and yep, that quarter I thought was damaged looked suspiciously like a double die. Let's just say those chips were the most expensive snack I've ever had. So what's the takeaway? Always check your coins before you spend them, especially quarters. Get yourself a good magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the letters, numbers, and designs on the coin. And if you think you've found something special, consult an expert or get it graded by a professional coin service like PCGS. All right, folks, there you have it. The tale of how a humble Ellis Island quarter became a million-dollar superstar. The next time you're sorting through your change, think twice before dismissing it as just loose coins. That quarter rattling around in your pocket right now? It could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more stories, tips, and strategies to help you spot coins worth serious money. Who knows? The next big discovery could be yours. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story. Sometimes it's just waiting for you to uncover it. You're digging through your loose change, maybe looking for vending machine money or trying to scrape together bus fare. Suddenly, you spot a 2015 Saratoga Quarter. You think, meh, just another coin? But hold on. What if I told you that coin could be worth over $1 million? Yes, a quarter. That's right. Someone out there is willing to pay $1.2 million for one of these bad boys. Intrigued? Stick around because today, I'm breaking down why the 2015 Mint Mark Saratoga Quarter is causing a coin collecting frenzy and how you might just strike it rich with one. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The 2015 Saratoga Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, commemorating the historic Battle of Saratoga during the Revolutionary War. The reverse design shows a hand surrendering a sword. Symbolic and pretty darn cool, right? But what's the deal with this $1.2 million price tag? It all comes down to rarity and errors. Specifically, there's a variety of these quarters minted in Philadelphia. That's where the P mint mark comes in, that has an incredibly rare production flaw. Some coins have subtle doubling on the reverse, or what experts call a die clash error. Basically, these imperfections make coin collectors go absolutely bonkers. And when collectors go bonkers, prices skyrocket. Here's where it gets fun. I once found a Saratoga quarter while cleaning out my car, buried between an old French fry and a stick of gum I think expired in 2018. At first, I didn't think much of it, but being the coin nerd I am, I grabbed my magnifying glass. Yes, I keep one handy for moments like these. Turns out, it was just an ordinary quarter. No doubling, no die clash. But hey, I got excited for a minute. The good news? These rare errors aren't impossible to find. There are thousands of these coins in circulation. And while the million-dollar ones are unicorns, even less dramatic errors can fetch anywhere from $50 to $500 on online auction sites. Not bad for something you might have spent on a bag of chips. Check your spare change, folks. You could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. The 2015 Mint Mark Saratoga Quarter is proof that treasure hunting isn't just for pirates. It's for anyone with a sharp eye and a little patience. Now, if you're itching to learn more about coins worth big bucks, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got plenty of tips, tricks, and stories to help you make your pocket change work harder for you. Who knows? Your next coin could fund your dream vacation or even early retirement. Have you ever gone digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find some spare change for a coffee or maybe a snack? Well, what if I told you that same spare change could make you a millionaire? That's right. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1989 P Mint Mark Washington Quarter. Yep, a regular-looking coin that's been turning heads because one of them just sold for, brace yourself, $1.3 million. No, this isn't monopoly money. This is the real deal. Stick around, and I'll tell you why this little quarter is making big waves. Okay, so first things first, what's the big deal about the 1989 P Washington Quarter? To most people, it's just another quarter you use for parking meters or gumball machines. But numismatists, the fancy term for coin collectors, know better. The P Mint mark tells us this quarter was minted in Philadelphia, and while most of these coins are worth, well, 25 cents, there's one key reason this particular quarter skyrocketed to $1.3 million. It's a rare error coin. Now, error coins are like the misfit toys of the coin world. Sometimes, the minting process goes a little haywire, and coins come out with mistakes, off-center strikes, doubling on the design, or even the wrong metal composition. Collectors love these imperfections because they're unique, and unique means valuable. The 1989 P quarter in question had a rare combination of errors that made it a unicorn in the coin world. Now, before you sprint to your piggy bank, let me sprinkle in a little reality check. Not every 1989 P quarter is going to buy you a yacht. This particular coin had flawless preservation. It was graded MS-68. In plain English, that means it looked as crisp as the day it left the mint, as if it hadn't spent a single second jangling around in someone's pocket. So, if your quarter looks like it's been through a washing machine and a car's cup holder, don't quit your day job just yet. But hey, I get it. The idea of striking gold, or silver in this case, is pretty exciting. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a garage sale, and this old guy was selling a jar of random coins. I thought, why not? Maybe I'll find something cool. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But I did walk away with a newfound appreciation for how many random pennies are out there. The point is, you never know what you'll find until you start looking. Keep an eye out for pristine-looking coins from 1989 with a P Mint mark. And if you think you've hit the jackpot, get it graded by a professional. It's like taking your car to a mechanic, except instead of fixing it, they'll tell you if it's worth six figures. All right, folks, let's wrap this up. The 1989 P Washington Quarter is proof that sometimes the little things really do matter, literally. Who knew a 25-cent piece could turn into a $1 million treasure? Now, here's your mission. Go check those coin jars, raid the couch cushions, and inspect your change. Who knows? You might be holding on to a fortune and not even know it. And hey, if you're into coin hunting or just love learning about the weird and wonderful world of rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips, stories, and strategies to turn spare change into serious cash. You're digging through your pocket change or that jar of coins you've been ignoring for years, and boom, you find a 1988 P Washington Quarter. Seems like just another quarter, right? Wrong. This little guy could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.4 million for something most of us wouldn't even bother picking up off the ground. Today, I'm breaking down why this seemingly ordinary coin is turning heads in the collecting world, how you can spot it, and what makes it worth a fortune. So, stick around, because your next Starbucks coffee could literally cost you $1 million coin. Okay, let's start with a quick backstory. The 1988 P Washington Quarter doesn't stand out much at first glance. It was minted in Philadelphia, hence the little P Mint mark on the obverse side, right under George Washington's ponytail. Over 1 billion of these were made, so finding one isn't exactly like winning the lottery, unless you find the one. What makes this coin so special? Well, here's where things get spicy. One particular 1988 P quarter sold for a record-breaking $1.4 million at auction because it had an extremely rare minting error. We're talking about a double die error on the obverse. That means certain details, like Washington's profile or the inscriptions, were stamped twice but slightly misaligned. It's like your coin had a bad hair day, except that hair day is now worth millions. Now, before you start flipping over every quarter you see, let me drop some insider tips. First, grab a magnifying glass or a loupe. Yes, the same kind jewelers use to look fancy. Inspect the coin for signs of doubling around Washington's eye or the word liberty. If you spot it, congratulations. You might be holding on to a small fortune. Here's a relatable story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Greg, was super into coin collecting. He'd always tell me, "Dude, you've got to check your change." I'd roll my eyes and be like, "Sure, Greg. I'll find treasure in my Taco Bell quarters." One day, he actually found a rare error coin in his change. It wasn't a 1988 P quarter, but it was worth $200. After that, I started checking my own coins, and while I haven't struck gold yet, I'm telling you, it's addictive. Back to the 1988 P quarter. If you think you've got one, don't just rush off to sell it at your local pawn shop. You need to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade can significantly boost its value. Coins in mint state, meaning they look fresh off the press, are the ones that bring in the big bucks. That's how that $1.4 million coin got its valuation. And if you're wondering, why on earth would anyone pay that much for a quarter? The answer is simple. Rarity plus demand equals cash. Coin collectors love a good story, and a double die error on a common coin like the Washington quarter is like finding a unicorn in your backyard. So, what's the takeaway here? Don't sleep on your spare change. That quarter at the bottom of your couch cushions could literally change your life. The 1988 P. Washington quarter is proof that sometimes the most ordinary things have extraordinary value. If you know what to look for now, here's your next step. Go check your pockets, jars, or wherever you keep your coins. If you find a 1988 P, give it a close look. And if you're as hooked on this treasure hunt as I am, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips on coins worth money, strategies for spotting rare finds, and even some crazy stories from the world of coin collecting. Let's turn that spare change into serious cash together. What if I told you there's a coin that's just been hanging around in pocket change since 1995, but now it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? That's right. Today we're talking about the 1995 P Mint Mark Washington quarter. You might want to grab your loose change and check your couch cushions because this might just be your lucky day. Now, before you start tearing apart your piggy banks, let me share a little secret. Not every 1995 quarter is worth millions. There's a very specific reason why this coin is the holy grail of quarters. So stick around, and I'll break it all down for you. Value, rarity, and how you might spot one in the wild. Oh, and trust me, I've got a story about my own coin hunting misadventures that'll have you laughing and maybe crying a little, too. All right, let's dive in. First, what makes this 1995 P Washington quarter so special? It all comes down to a rare minting error. This coin wasn't supposed to exist in its current state, but a combination of factors at the Philadelphia Mint gave us one of the rarest quarters ever. We're talking about a double die error, where the design elements are struck twice, creating a subtle but unmistakable doubling effect on George Washington's profile. Now, most folks wouldn't notice this unless they're really looking closely. So closely that your neighbors might think you've gone cross-eyed. The doubling is particularly visible on the lettering, like Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot it, congratulations. You're holding a tiny piece of minting history that's worth more than a mansion in some cities. Why is it valued at $1.5 million today? Well, it's a combination of rarity and demand. There are only a handful of these error coins in existence, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar, or should I say, top quarter, to get their hands on one. In fact, the most recent sale of this coin set a record at auction, and the buzz hasn't stopped since. Now, let me share a little personal anecdote. A few years back, I got into coin collecting after seeing a YouTube video just like this one. I was convinced I'd strike gold, or silver, or nickel as it were. One day, I thought I found the coin. A 1995 quarter with what looked like a double die error. My heart was racing, I was already mentally spending my millions. Turns out, it was just a coffee stain on the coin. Moral of the story? Always double-check with a magnifying glass and, maybe, a little humility. So, how can you tell if your 1995 P quarter is the real deal? First, get yourself a good magnifying glass or, better yet, a jeweler's loupe. Look for the doubling on the lettering and George's profile. Next, consult a professional grader or numismatist. They'll help confirm the authenticity and condition of your coin. And remember, condition matters. A pristine coin will always fetch a higher price than one that looks like it's been through a vending machine once. Oh, there you have it, folks. The 1995 P Washington Quarter, a coin that's not just worth money but a staggering $1.5 million if you're lucky enough to find the right one. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, this coin is proof that you never know what kind of fortune might be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got tons of content lined up that'll help you uncover the hidden value in your change jar. And hey, if you've got a story about a coin find or a coin fail, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. You're digging through your change jar, looking for a dollar for the vending machine, and boom, you stumble upon a quarter that could make you a millionaire. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're talking about the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. A quarter worth more than most houses. So, grab your coin stash because by the end of this video, you'll be an expert on how to spot this treasure and why it's so valuable. Oh, and stick around. I've got a funny story about my own coin hunting adventure that involves a lot of quarters and a very annoyed cashier. Let's start with the basics. What makes the 1965 Washington quarter so special? First, this quarter is from a transitional year. In 1965, the U.S. Mint switched from using silver in quarters to a copper-nickel blend. They were phasing out silver coins because, well, people were hoarding them. But here's where it gets spicy. Some quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets, which were leftovers from 1964. That's the holy grail we're talking about today. Now, here's the kicker. There's no mint mark on these coins. That's because all quarters from 1965 were minted in Philadelphia, which didn't use mint marks at the time. So, if you're looking at a quarter and it has a D or S mint mark, sorry to burst your bubble, but it's not the one. So how do you know if you have the silver 1965 quarter? The easiest way is by weight. The copper-nickel quarters weigh about 5.67 grams, while the silver ones weigh 6.25 grams. If you don't have a scale, you can also check the coin's edge. Copper-nickel quarters have a visible copper-colored stripe on the edge, while silver quarters don't. Now, about that $1.6 million valuation. That's not just some random number. It's based on auction records. A 1965 silver quarter sold for that staggering amount because it was in pristine condition and verified by professional grading services. But don't worry, even if yours isn't mint condition, it could still fetch a pretty penny. Coins in good condition can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Quick story, this whole coin thing started for me when I was about 10. My grandma handed me a coffee can full of coins and said, "Find something valuable in there." At the time, I thought, "Grandma, you're making me work for free." But guess what? That's how I found my first silver quarter. It wasn't a 1965, but it was a 1964, and I sold it for $15. Not bad for a kid, right? Fast forward to last month, and I was at a gas station when I got a quarter in my change. My heart skipped a beat because I thought it might be the 1965 silver quarter. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But it reminded me that treasures can show up when you least expect them, so there you have it. The 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter is more than just pocket change. It's potentially life-changing. The next time you're at the laundromat or digging through your car's cup holder, keep an eye out. You never know when you might strike gold, or in this case, silver. And if you found this video helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips on spotting valuable coins, coin hunting strategies, and even some of my own mishaps along the way. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And hey, who knows? Maybe the next millionaire coin hunter will be you. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, or just people who have way too much change in their pockets. Have you ever looked at a quarter and thought, could this buy me a candy bar or a mansion? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the wild world of the 1996 P. Washington quarter, the one that could be worth $1.70 million. Yep, you heard that right. A single quarter, enough to retire on. Before you go dumping your piggy bank on the floor, hold up. I'm here to give you the full scoop. What makes this quarter so special, how you can spot one, and why it's worth enough to make even Elon Musk jealous. And stick around until the end, because I'll share a personal story about how I almost missed out on a valuable coin myself. Trust me, it's a roller coaster, so let's start with the basics. What's the deal with the 1996 P. Washington quarter? First off, the P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck. Nothing too crazy about that, right? But here's where things get interesting. This particular quarter is part of a rare error batch. In coin collecting, we call these mules or die errors. Think of it as the mint messing up big time. Kind of like when you send a text to the wrong person, but on a much bigger scale. For this coin, the error lies in the way it was struck. A double die reverse, meaning the design on the back looks slightly doubled or distorted. It's subtle, but collectors go absolutely bananas for this kind of thing. Now, let's talk value. In most cases, a 1996 P quarter is worth, well, 25 cents. Maybe 50 cents if it's in really great condition. But a perfect condition, error variant one, that's the holy grail. One of these babies sold at auction for, drumroll please, $1.7 million. That's like finding a lottery ticket in your couch cushions. To spot a valuable 1996 P quarter, grab a magnifying glass, or even just your phone camera, zoom is your friend. Look for any doubling on the reverse side, particularly on the eagle's feathers or the lettering. If you're not sure, take it to a coin dealer. They'll either confirm your jackpot or crush your dreams. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what are the odds I actually have one of these? Fair point. The truth is, the chances are slim, but they're not zero. It's like hunting for treasure. Half the fun is in the search. And here's a quick story to prove my point. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and I found this old, dirty quarter stuck between the seats. I almost tossed it, but something made me hold on to it. Turns out, it was a rare 1983 quarter worth about 50 bucks. Not quite $1.7 million, but hey, I was pretty stoked. Imagine if I just chucked it away. That's why I always say, check your coins before you spend them. The incredible, mind-blowing story of the 1996 P. Washington quarter and why you should definitely be checking your pocket change. Sure, you might not strike it rich, but who knows? That humble little quarter jingling in your pocket right now could be your golden ticket. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth serious cash, or just need an excuse to avoid doing laundry for an extra 10 minutes, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be dropping more tips, tricks, and wild stories about coins that could make you money. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow treasure hunters. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. What if I told you the humble Washington quarter sitting in your pocket right now might just make you a millionaire? No, this isn't some late-night infomercial pitch, it's real. A 1989 P. Washington quarter recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, a plain old quarter. So, before you casually toss your change in the tip jar, stick around. I'm about to tell you how to spot this little silver superstar and why it's worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. Alright, let's get into it. First, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1989 P. Washington quarter is, on the surface, a pretty unassuming coin. It was minted in Philadelphia. That's what the P stands for, and millions were made. So why is one of them worth enough to buy an island? It's all about rarity and condition. The $1.8 million quarter wasn't just any 1989 P. This particular coin was graded a perfect mint state 69 by PCGS, one of the top grading companies. In coin nerd terms, that means it's virtually flawless. No scratches, no wear, just pure, unblemished glory. Imagine your car coming off the production line, staying in a climate-controlled garage for 30 years, and never even getting dust on it. That's this coin now. Here's a fun fact. The vast majority of 1989 quarters are worth, Exactly 25 cents. Yep, most of them have lived a hard life, jingling around in pockets, vending machines, and who knows where else. But if you happen to have one that looks like it hasn't aged a day since the 80s, crisp, shiny, and sharp, you might be in luck. And here's where it gets personal. A couple of months ago, I was rummaging through an old piggy bank, the kind that looks like a plastic dinosaur. Don't judge. I was a weird kid, and I found a pile of quarters. My heart skipped a beat when I saw a 1989 coin with that glorious P mint mark. For a moment, I thought I was about to retire early. Spoiler alert. Mine had more scratches than a cat after a bath. But hey, it was still 25 cents richer than before, so how do you know if your quarter is the one? First, check the date and mint mark. It has to be 1989 with the P. Next, look at the condition. If it's beat up, don't get your hopes up. But if it's shiny and looks like it just stepped out of a time machine, consider getting it graded. Grading does cost money, usually around $50 to $100. But if you're holding $1 million coin, it's a small investment. Now, before you go tearing apart your couch cushions and raiding your piggy banks, remember, finding a perfect 1989 P quarter is like winning the lottery. But the beauty of coin collecting is that the possibilities are endless. Today it's the 1989 quarter. Tomorrow, it could be a penny, a nickel, or who knows that old coin you've been using as a paperweight. If you're as fascinated by rare coins as I am, hit that subscribe button. I've got loads more tips, tricks, and stories about how ordinary coins can turn into extraordinary finds. Let's make your spare change work for you. Who knows, you might be sitting on a fortune.